her mentor, Somya.
Hello, everyone. My name is Somya, and this is my first time mentoring for Magic. And I had the wonderful privilege of mentoring Dhatri. She is a 10th grader and she lives in California. And outside of school, she loves to sing and read and play badminton, which she's done a lot of this summer. And I got to work with Dhatri and help her develop her interest in neuroscience and coding further. Given that neither of us has experience in coding, this was a really exciting opportunity for both of us. And I got to see Dhatri flourish and really excel in coding. Like she learned HTML, she learned CSS, and she has experience using Quad.ai and VSC. So I'm really proud of everything she accomplished. And today she has put together a website on just the brain and the functions of the brain. And she has some fun facts and a quiz at the end of it on the website. So I'm really excited for you all to see. I'm so proud of all her work. Go for it, Dhatri.
Thank you, Somya. So, as you guys just heard, my name is Dhatri B. I'm a 10th grader at Washington High School in Fremont, California. So, this is all about Somya Panchal. She grew up in Chicago and studied psychobiology at UCLA, which is in California. And guess who lives in California? That's me. So, it would have been really cool if we met back then. Now she's going to med school at NITCOM in New York. She loves to spend time with her family and visits national parks. And a really fun story is that over the summer, I went to Glacier National Park, and just a couple days later, Somya was there. So I wish we met back then. Maybe we could do it someday. Um, Her hobbies are cooking, hiking, and exploring new cafes. So if you ever need any recommendations, you should definitely ask Somya. So this is a bit about my project. It's called Journey into the Brain, and it's a website with the functions of the brain. So this includes the lobes, the cortexes, what each part of the brain does, how it helps you. And really this all started with my deep interest in neurology. So just a couple years back, I really liked medicine, and I decided neurology would be a really great career to pursue. I mean, humans know so much about the ocean and space, but really don't know much about our own body. And the brain is one of the biggest mysteries. And so I just want to be a small part of that. And so the website, it has the functions of the brain, parts of the brain, lobes of the brain. And I use HTML, CSS, and I use Claude.ai, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. So we figured out the basics of the website and how to code for each function and dive into learning more about each function. And in the near future, we'll be coding for the animations for the interactive simulation. So this is my magical experience. My highlights were that I bonded with my mentor, Somya. She is so amazing. I mean, the amount of time she spent with me, it was just great to be with her. And I learned so much with her, her perseverance, her strength, and I'm really glad to have like a friend to help me out with the medical field. And another thing is that this completely changed my view on coding. I mean, just a couple of weeks back, I absolutely hated coding. You can ask my parents, both of them are software engineers, and they sit in front of the computer days and hours, and I just think it's so boring. I mean, letters and numbers, ah. But then I started to learn coding, and I found out how cool it was. I mean, animations and backgrounds. It was just so cool to piece together everything for my website using coding. And I worked with a lot of different platforms to bring together the website. That is Code Academy, Cloud.ai, and Visual Studio Code. The lessons I learned during Magic is that I learned coding in Code Academy. And so I learned HTML and CSS. And I now have a certificate in HTML, so I can put that on my LinkedIn profile. I worked with many different platforms called AI, Code Academy, and I looked at many examples for websites to have ideas for my website. I mean, if I need to get inspired, it's best to look at other websites, and I really got inspired by those. Some challenges that did happen were scheduling conflicts, which happened with me and Somya. I started school, and Somya had med school, and so she had so many tests. And I had a couple of extracurricular activities. And over the summer, we just went on vacations, and so it was just a bit hard. But we still made it happen. And a huge thing about me is that I procrastinate a lot. I am a pro procrastinator. But I realized it was okay to procrastinate. It's just, you kind of have to finish it in the end. And a lot of the times I doubted myself. I mean, I barely know coding and I'm supposed to create a huge website. And I had so many ideas for this website, and it was just kind of like a big breath to take in. But I'm really glad that I made it through. So this is a bit more about my website. It's called Journey into the Brain. And what this website gives is that it gives basic facts about the brain. It has a quiz and it has info about the lobes. Some future plans for this website is I plan on adding the simulations, 3D, and some research for diseases of the brain that's ongoing, and some cures that people are trying to discover for the brain. It would just be a really great thing if I could just be a small part of this huge, huge road. And I also want to add a 3D visual module of the brain. So you can like click on it, play around, kind of twist the brain, just really like dive in deep. And another thing is that I want to add exercises to help the brain, what type of foods to eat, what type of yoga poses to do. And really, this website in the very near future would be an all in all website about the brain. So Claude.ai is what I use a lot to create this website. It's an AI language model and it helps with editing, writing, summarizing, conversing, and coding. So I use AI or Claude.ai to tweak my coding and personalize my website. And I had a lot of problems with it. My command wasn't too great, or the coding just wasn't what I expected. So I had to manually change a lot of the code to kind of fit in what I really wanted. And the best part of Claude.ai is that it would help debrief the code and gave a preview of the page and how it would look like. So it could decide if I like it or if I didn't like it. So there are a couple parts to skip over here. So if we could go to 21 seconds. So we start at this page and then we come to the main menu and we find this code that's kind of being, or this writing that's being typed out. And then we would be clicking, you can go to 50 seconds now. And we would, once we click on pop-up of the brain, we would get a pop-up of the brain. And you can click on any of the buttons and it tells you the lobes and it gives you information about the lobes. And we can go to 126. And so this is the fascinating brain facts that come up, and it just gives you a couple of facts about the brain and some trivia and just a little quiz. And it's only one question, but as soon as this quiz is over, you can go to 210. So before that, we have a simulation. This is really the part that I had a lot of trouble with because I couldn't figure out how to work it out. But I will be figuring that out in a couple days, or not days, but in the future. And then we can go to 233. And yeah, so we come to the quiz. This is really 5 questions about the brain that we learned in the facts page. And so you can click on your answer choices And once you submit it, it gives you the results and what you got wrong and what you got right and how much percentage you got. And then we can go to 320. And then this is the about page about me and Somya. And yeah, that was my website. Next slide. And so this is the coding part. So you can go to 106. And so I use Visual Studio Code to help me code the website. And I would edit the code that Cod.ai gave me in here, and I would save it, and it would become an actual page on the Google platform. And we can go to the next slide. And this is how Cod.ai works. So we can go to 145. And so you would just type in a command and it gives you like this preview of the page. And it would also give you how the page looks like in the internet. So, and you can choose how you want it to look like, and you can personalize it to your choice. And that's it. Thank you. Any questions?
Wonderful job, Dhatri. Thank you so much for walking us through your process and website. Are there any questions or comments? I'm seeing you're getting lots of applause and celebrations and hearts.
Thank you, everyone.
I have a question. Very cool work, Dhatri, and congratulations. I was wondering if you had the chance to show this to any of your peers, friends, see how they did and how they used the website, how the quiz was, how they interacted with it, and if that informed any of the things that you want to do in the future too.
So I actually didn't get a chance to do that because I did run into a lot of problems making the URL into a public URL. So I managed to make a couple of but I was still trying to like manage to make it into a website. But hopefully soon it will work out.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Wonderful. Oh, and you're getting some kudos in the comments.
Thank you, everyone.
Are there any other questions?
I don't actually have a question, but again, the comment I have is, it's really remarkable the number of technologies you used and put it all together in a matter of 9 weeks. So kudos to your Somya as well as you for, kind of not losing sight of what you want to accomplish as you use the various technologies and learn it. So congratulations.
Thank you.